This Sunday is the first Sunday after the Feast of the Epiphany, and every year that Sunday is given over to the baptism of Christ, that event that marks the beginning of Christ's earthly ministry. And it gives us an idea to think about our own baptismal covenant, to think about what that means to be a child of God and to be part of that very active covenant relationship. So we'll explore those ideas, not just the historical event of Christ's baptism by his cousin John, but also how that can lead us as we are responsible for bringing light into the world. The opening voluntary, the organ prelude that will start the service, is from the German traditions, from a composer that was a generation before Bach, Dietrich Buxtehude. And he took a chorale melody, a hymn melody, that was very familiar to his congregation. Christ unser Herr zum Jordan kam, Christ our Lord to Jordan came. And he uses the melody very clearly in the right hand on a solo stop where you can hear it prominently. But the thing to really pay attention to is the accompaniment that comes in the left hand and the pedals. And you'll hear a lot of flowing accompaniment that seems to suggest the waters of the Jordan. And then it even kind of leaps around a little bit. And then as Christ is baptized and we hear in the story the presence of God coming in the presence of a dove and then the voice from heaven, we hear these very strong declamatory kinds of chords. So if you hear that, you've got the melody in the right hand. And later on, that flowing figuration of the waters. And moving on like that. And then as I say at the end, sort of this idea of God proclaiming, "This is my son." Very strong way to end that piece. Very interesting. At the sequence, we will be singing, "I Come, the Great Redeemer cries, to do thy will, O Lord," which is hymn number 116 in our hymnal. And it's matched with an old English ballad tune, "The Singer's Night," or That Other Night. It has that sort of a ballad feel to it that makes it a lot of fun to sing. Rocks right along, telling the story right as we prepare ourselves to hear the gospel narrative. At the offertory, the choir will be singing a setting of "Tomorrow Shall Be My Dancing Day" with the very familiar and traditional English tune. And this arrangement is by a friend of mine, David Sims. And the treble choir commissioned him a few years ago to sing, to write an anthem for them, "Sing Praise," and that's something that the children have sung several times. This is an arrangement of that folk melody by David Sims. That carol ends with the verse about the baptism. And then beyond that, as I say, we'll be really thinking about what it means to have that sort of a covenantal relationship with God and how that can inspire us to be the light of Christ in the world. So we hope that you will come and join us for worship, either here in person downtown or on cable television or on our YouTube channel.